bit. How did we get here? What happened that allowed us to be at this school? Is it just as simple as black and white? Um, you know, this equals this, or were there things that contributed that were serious factors? That's what this show has always been about. Travis and I have always talked about that. We've always been consistent talking about, hey, here's the way that we want our show to be viewed. We want to be a rational show. We talk about things. Hey, we're not gonna go up and down with it. We're gonna stay consistent on what we feel like it is. Obviously, we know Travis is connected to the program. I have some connections, not as much as him. I have some as well. Okay, but more than not, we understand the things that are going in and out of the program that are happening behind closed doors. The reason that they gave Brent Venables an extension after his 10-win season last year, like that there was positive moments, there were positive things going on. All that aside, uh, we have a 6-7 season on the table again. A blowout loss to Texas again. And so at a certain point, like the inevitable has presented itself, which is why I said I'm not freaking out. Because as much as I want Brent to be the guy, the inevitable has presented itself in the form of if he doesn't figure it out this next year, he's more than likely done. And if he's not done, then there's some big questions that need to be gone Josie's way, right? Because you can't continue to have these type of issues at the University of Oklahoma. You can't put out multiple 6-win seasons, no matter what has happened. You can't do it. So this is the reality. A third one is death for him. And here's why I'm not freaking out. In the NIL era, in the transfer portal era, guys, you saw Indiana have the year that they had after one season. You've seen other teams not be great and jump up to be great moving forward. I mean, that's what Texas did, right? They had 5-7, then they switched. And next year, what they have? Was it 8 wins the next year? And then the third year is when they won the Big 12 championship. Now they're where they're at, right? Like in this era, you can change the narrative very quickly, which is why I'm not concerned. I don't feel like we're going to just fall back and become Nebraska because I believe that there are people that care about Oklahoma football enough to not allow that to happen, that backslide to happen, that Oklahoma in and of itself will pay the money and has enough tradition that they will have people lined up for the head coach position, just like we have people lined up for the offensive coordinator position, high level people, right? So I don't think that if we lose Brent Venables, that means we're going to be set back 5 years or something like that. I really don't think that. However, it's not fun. It's not like this is what we want to have happen. It's not like a guy that we felt super confident in, and that we've seen have success. He had a 10-win season last year. Like, and that's the thing I think frustrates me. Sometimes people just like, it was an anomaly. When there were reasons that there were issues this year, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's where we're at. And so where do we go from here? The game was, and sorry it took me so long to talk about the game. I mean, get out to a 14-0 lead. The defense is holding Navy at bay. Navy presents a lot of crazy, formations that's hard, especially when you lose your top two, IQ guys on that defense, and Danny Such and Billy Bowman play a lot of football. They're there, but they're not on the field because they're going to the NFL. When you lose those guys, it makes it even harder, even if you have 3 weeks to prepare, right? And so you let Navy score, especially after, we're 4th and 1 on the 30. You could say, oh, kick a field goal there, but I don't hate the decision. We don't get it, but that hurts us because if we're 17-21-0, a little bit different game. Like Navy has to draw back and pass probably a little bit. Then you let them score. We go into halftime at 14-7, get a stop, and then again, convert on the 4th and 1, and we do it from our our 50. We get a stop again there, but then the craziness happens. A 99-yard run, the longest run in Navy history, a complete and total bust. And the defense didn't play amazing. They played well enough to win. Michael Hawkins played well enough to win. It just seems like it's the same thing in 2022. We can't get out of our way for some, like, oh, Michael Hawkins, like 60-yard touchdown run, holding call. That's another thing. Refs were, yeah, but that happens. Holding calls on plays that have positive yardage, like all those things are happening, right? And it just can't happen. And then you go and you tie the game at the end, which is even more infuriating because you're like, man, why weren't you doing that the entire time? Why weren't you, finding spots in the zone? Why weren't you, having somebody fill in behind the blitzing backers when they showed a bare front or double mug? Like those things matter, right? We get there, we score. I know a lot of people don't like the 2-point conversion. A lot of people said go for two and then it didn't work. Now they're mad. At the end of the day, I understand going to overtime and trusting your defense, your offense. I mean, I will say going to overtime against a Navy team is tough because you're giving them plus yardage, and that's a team that, like, they will get. There's no time on the clock. They'll get 3 yards if they need to. Could we have stopped them? Absolutely. We did before in the game, but it wasn't a guarantee. I can understand why he wanted to go for the jugular. We just didn't get it done. Again, that being said, does a win over Navy does it make you feel that much better? Like you can sleep better at night thinking that we won a game over Navy in the last second, and now next season's looking up. Like that's the switch you're gonna make. That's what has me frustrated. Because no, bro, like you should be on the same energy that you were 3 weeks ago, right? Regardless of whether we won or lost this game, the energy is the same to me. Right? You got to figure it out. I don't care about me feeling a little bit better as a fan, like here, just about well, we won the bowl game, so maybe next year's looking up, bro. No. Like even if we had won the bowl game, there's still a chance that next year would be terrible. I'm not gonna allow that to dictate how I feel about the program and the state of it. In the same way, I'm not gonna let a loss dictate how I feel about it. 7-6, 6-7, we still need to get 9 wins next year. Period. Or Brent is gone. That's in the discussion. And hopefully we're healthy. Hopefully we have a fully put together team like we did not this year. But again, it is what it is. We didn't come through. Regardless of how unhealthy the team was, regardless of the incompetence that we saw on offense, literally the worst offense of history, it is what it is. So the writing is on the wall for Brent if he don't figure it out this year. And I love Brent. I'll go to bat for Brent. I will, as a person, obviously. But he has some things to address as a coach, and he needs to address it and stop saying the standard is the standard. I'm not big. We know that, dog. Like, we know it. I know he needs to stay as a coach. But we get it. We get it. Let's move. Let's move. Let's do what needs to be done. And he knows it. They all know it. If they don't do what needs to be done, then it's done. It's over. So I'm not tripping. I'm not over here clutching my pearls and being like, oh, freaking, like, it's cut and dry, black or white to me. If this happens, okay. If this doesn't happen, okay. There's no in between. That's where I'm at. So, man, appreciate y'all coming out and watching the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at the JP and Trav Show. We'll see you guys on next Wednesday. To talk about this debacle. We'll get Trav's thoughts. If you haven't heard, go to KREF and listen to his post-game radio. They'll also be on OU Insider a little bit. But appreciate y'all. We'll talk to you soon. Boomer.